Assalamualaikum students, welcome to GH Study Spot. जैसे कि आप लोग जानते हैं कि हमारे कोचिंग सेंटर की तरफ से हर एक सब्जेक्ट का सेशन प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है। आज हम लोग इस वीडियो में लाइफ साइंस के सेशन के बारे में डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। आप लोग इस बात को अच्छे से जान ले कि ये जो सेशन तैयार किया गया है, लास्ट ईयर में जितने भी इस चैप्टर से, इस सब्जेक्ट से जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आए थे, उस क्वेश्चन को एनालाइज करने के बाद और बहुत सारे सेशन की बुक से एनालाइज करने के बाद आप लोगों के सामने ये पेश किया जा रहा है। आप लोग इस सब्जेक्ट को, क्वेश्चन को देखने से पहले इस सब्जेक्ट में किस तरह से मार्क्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, मार्क्स पैटर्न है, उसको समझ लिए। आप लोग स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं कि आप लोग के इस चैप्टर से जो टोटल यूनिट है वो 5 है। देखिए, यूनिट 1, यूनिट 2, यूनिट 3, यूनिट 4, यूनिट 5। आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि टोटल आपका 15 MCQ आता है जो कि कंपलसरी होता है। वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर आता है जिसमें कुछ ऑप्शन भी होते हैं, शॉर्ट आंसर और लॉन्ग आंसर जिसमें भी ऑप्शंस होते हैं। इस तरह से टोटल आप लोगों का 90 मार्क्स का एग्जाम लिया जाता है। चैप्टर 1, 2 मार्क्स। Write the difference between phototropic and photonostic movement based on the following characteristics: role of stimulus, role of hormones, nature of movement. What is the reason for the movement of lateral leaflets of Mimosa pudica? Mention the types of gnostic movement observed in tulipflowers, sunflower, and marigold. Explain the effects of gibberellin hormones on the seeds and vegetative parts of the plants. Mention 2 areas of use of synthetic artificial plant hormone in agriculture. What is parthenocarpy? What is the name of the phytohormone that aids in this process? Explain the statement that insulin and glucagon act in opposite order. Other. Write the name of the largest hormone gland in the human body and the names of hormones secreted by it. What is called clerogenic hormone and why? Question number 10. Write any 2 problems that can arise if pancreatic beta cells are removed from the body. Write the name of the hormone responsible for the following function. It inhibits the production of glucose from proteins and lipids in the liver. Causes uterine muscle contraction during childbirth. Contraction of the erectile spine muscle of the skin causes the skin hair to stand up. What is neurohormone? Write its function. How is a nerve impulse transmitted across the synapse? Identify which part of the brain controls each of the following functions: maintaining body balance, acting as the center of the reflex action, controlling body temperature, controlling involuntary automatic activities. Write the difference between neurons and neuroglia based on the following characteristics: nerve conduction, division ability, works. Discuss the main function of the cerebellum and hypothalamus. How do the reflex action help people in their daily activities? Write the names of the different refractive media of the eyeball in the specified order. Present the method of accommodation for seeing distant objects through a diagram. Discuss the role of the nucleus and myelin sheath. What is the reason for the movement of an animal at rest? How do feathers help a pigeon fly in the sky? Explain the contrasting mechanism of the action of flexor and extensor muscle. Write the difference between cilia and flagella based on the following characteristics: location, nature, work. Mention the role of paired fin and gill slits in the movement of fish. What is yellow spot? Mention its function. Chapter 2, question number 1. What effects does the absence of centrosome have on the division of an animal cell? Mention the importance of meiosis in maintaining the existence of the species. Write the difference between euchromatin and heterochromatin. Write the difference between mitosis and meiosis based on the following characteristics: phase, separation of chromatids, chromosome nature. Establish the relationship between the loss of control in the cell cycle and the Development of the cancer cell. Make a list of the changes that occur during puberty and old age in human development. Prophase and telophase are opposite to each other. Write to such opposite transition. When and how do crossing over occur? Write down the changes that occur in chromosome during anaphase stage of karyokinesis. Write down would you know what do you know about the different chemical composition of chromosome? Why is reductional division important for an organism? Which of the following is the most advanced among vegetative, asexual and sexual reproduction, and why? Which vector carry out pollination in the following plant, rice, mango? Identify the difference between the reproductive system of Spirogyra and Planaria. Explain the cross-pollination which is more advanced than self-pollination. What happens if the stamen of a bisexual flower are removed? Some animals reproduce by asexual reproduction. Judge the correctness of the statement. Chapter 3, question number 1. What is the cause of hemophilia? Why is hemophilia or color blindness more common in men? Explain the examples. The two types of mutation transmitted in the human body. Write the two reasons for Mendel's selection of pea plants for his genetic experiment. Different genotype produce same phenotype. Discuss the correctness of the statement. What are all the possible gametes from capital Y, capital R, small r obtained in the first offspring in the dihybrid breeding experiment? In case of incomplete dominance, the phenotype and genotype ratio are identical. What is the reason for this? Explain the role of male and female in determining the sex of the child with reason. What problems can arise if a patient with thalassemia donates blood repeatedly? What is crisscross inheritance? Write the role of SRY gene in determining male characteristics. Why is it not possible for colorblind parents to have a child with normal vision? Explain each test cross with one back cross with reason. Chapter 4, 2 marks. Write the reagent used in the Miller-Urey experiment, in the chemical origin of life, and the name of an organic acid produced. Discuss how protocell originate from conservates microspheres. Discuss the intraspecific and interspecific struggle for the survival with example. How does genetic variation lead to the emergence of the fittest? Mention two significance of fossils in evolutionary studies. Mention four important changing characteristics in the evolution of horse. Write the name of one inactive organ each located in the spinal cord and esophagus of the human body. How are chimpanzees are able to solve everyday problems using fishing tools? What were the characteristics of the environment at the beginning of the earth when life was created? Question number 10. Discuss the underlying relationship between adaptation and expression. Mention the two adaptive features of camels to tolerate excess water logging. What is called physiologically pure soil and why? Identify the difference between rundowns and waggle downs. Chapter 5, 2 marks. Discuss how nitrogen in the air reaches the Earth's surface through acid rain. Write the significance of the nitrogen cycle. Discuss the cause and the effect of global warming. Acid rain damaged the Taj Mahal. Explain with scientific explanation. How do birth rate and migration help increasing population density? Why are the wetlands and the forest called the kidneys and the lungs of the nature respectively? How do you think the introduction of exotic species hinders the survival of the native species? Name one endangered plant and animal, each from the hotspot in East Himalaya. Discuss two reasons for the decline of red panda. Compare between ex situ and in situ preservation. What harmful effects can noise pollution have on the human ear and heart? Mention four features of biosphere reserve. Mention two conditions for determining hotspot. Discuss two environmental problems of the Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve. What is cryopreservation? What type of preservation method is it? What is Red Data Book? Mention the benefits of in situ conservation. What do you think could be the result of the disruption of the nitrogen cycle? How do different types of allergens cause asthma? Write one importance of JFM and PBR. What do you think could be the reason for the endangered species of the wild beasts and one-horned rhinoceros? अब हम लोग 5 मार्क्स का जो सेशन है वो हर एक चैप्टर से डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। चैप्टर 1 से आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि 2 डायग्राम दिया गया है जो कि 5 मार्क्स में बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। नंबर 1, ड्रॉ अ साइंटिफिक डायग्राम ऑफ टिपिकल न्यूरॉन, आइडेंटिफाई द फॉलोइंग पार्ट्स ऑफ नर्व सेल, एक्सॉन, नोड ऑफ रैनवियर्स या फिर रैनवियर्स सेल, डेंड्रॉन, स्वान सेल, माइलिन सेल। 2. Draw a scientific diagram of reflex arc and identify the following parts: receptor, sensory nerve, interneuron, relay neuron, efferent nerve। ये जो 2 क्वेश्चन है ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। चैप्टर 1 से डायग्राम बेसिस पर कोई ना कोई क्वेश्चन आप लोगों को माध्यमिक में देखने को मिलेगा। चैप्टर 2 से देख सकते हैं कि आपका क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 है, ड्रॉ अ साइंटिफिक डायग्राम ऑफ यूकैरियोटिक chromosome and identify the following parts: centromere, telomere, satellite, nuclear organizer, chromatid। Question number 2, draw a diagram of the metaphase stage of mitosis of a plant or animal cell and identify the following parts: chromosome, spindle fiber, polar region, centrosome, chromatid। Right. Difference between cytokinesis in plant and animal cells. Discuss the sexual reproduction system of flowering plants with illustration. Establish the interrelationship between genes, DNA, and chromosome. Describe the events that occur during the different stages of interphase of cell cycle. Represent the genetic sequence of forms through word diagram. This is very important. Write the changes that occur in prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Explain inheritance of the characters using Mendel's pea plant experiment. Chapter 3, question number 1. If a pure black rough-haired guinea pig is crossed with a pure white smooth-haired guinea pig, show the phenotype ratio of the offspring produced in the second daughter cell using a checkerboard. What conclusion can you draw from his experiment? So with the help of a checkerboard the result that will be revealed in the children of a normal carrier woman and a hemophilic colorblind man. Hemophilic or colorblind man. What is the hyaluronic gene? Mention the 3 symptoms of thalassemia. Discuss the causes of the colorblindness. So the phenotypic ratio of the offspring produced in the second progeny when a pure round yellow seeded pea plant is crossed with a wrinkled green seeded pea plant with the help of a checkerboard. Or Mendel conducted a dihybrid experiment on the color and the size of the seeds of pea plants. The F2 of this experiment, write the genotypes of the yellow and round seeded pea plants produced in the genus. Mendel's experiment on pea plant were groundbreaking in developing the scientific concept of heredity. Mention 3 reasons of his success in these experiments. In the case of evening primrose flower, show how the deviation of Mendel's first law of heredity is revealed in the genus. 6. So the method of sex determination with the help of a checkerboard. So how the misconception of human society regarding the method of determining the sex of a child can be eliminated with the help of a cross. State Mendel's first law obtained from the monohybrid breeding experiment. State Mendel's law of independent assortment. What can be the result of heredity in the given cases? Father or one of the mothers is thalassaemic and the other is thalassaemic carrier. Both the father and the mother are thalassaemic carrier. Or colorblind woman marries a normal man. Evaluate the probability of color blindness in their children in the first generation. Chapter 4, question number 1. Describe briefly the chemical origin of living organisms with the help of a Miller and Urey experiments. Present the main events of evolution through a word diagram. Explain with the help of an example how a new species is created according to Darwin's theory. Differentiate between homologous and analogous organ. Define vestigial organ with example. What information about expression can be learned from a comparative discussion of the structure of the heart of different vertebrate groups? How is the special character of camel's red blood cell related to their tolerance to excessive water loss? Write the adaptive importance of cactus leaves. Discuss the following 4 points of Darwin's theory of expression: excessive reproduction, origin of variation, natural selection, survival of the fittest. 7. Prove the correctness of the statement: adaptation is the change in size, physiological function, and the behavior of an organism. With any two example, what is the role of the gills in the aquatic adaptation of the rohu fish? Question number 8. Describe the formation of fossils and explain how fossils prove organic evolution. Explain how thick leaves of cactus and fleshy stem of lotus represent adaptive features. Chapter 5. Question number 1. The stages of nitrogen cycle are a periodic table. So with the help of word diagram, what are the regions that can disrupt the nitrogen cycle? Write the role of bacteria in the stages of nitrogen cycle. What are the harmful effects of noise pollution on human body, including the ears and heart? Discuss 3 harmful effects of eutrophication. What are leg hemoglobin and methane hemoglobin? Mention 2 respiratory problems and symptoms of children and adults in winter. Discuss any 2 rules of PBR in conserving local biodiversity. Discuss 3 reasons for the decline in biodiversity with examples. What in situ measures have been taken in Gir National Park, India for conservation of tigers, rhinoceros, red pandas? Give 2 examples of ex situ conservations. Question number 6. Explain the given 3 problems related to the increasing population, overuse and depletion of natural resources, change and global warming, deforestation and degrading of ecosystem. Question number 7. If the sea level rises due to global development, what problems can arise for the people and the biodiversity of Sundarbans? What is the role of biosphere reserves and sanctuaries in preserving biodiversity? Or one of the environmental problems of the Sundarban is the disruption of the balance of the food and predator numbers. Illustrate the statement with the help of 3 examples. What are the reasons for the endangerment of the given wildlife? Royal Bengal tiger, one-horned rhinoceros, lion. What are 2 effects of air pollution on human health? 9. Write a summary of the conservation efforts taken to increase the population of an endangered mammal found only in the wet grassland of eastern Himalaya foothills. Discuss the importance of the biodiversity in maintaining the balance of a river ecosystem. Evaluate the effects of the following pollutants on the environment and human health. Persistence, pesticides, pollinators, chemical fertilizers rich in phosphate and nitrates. D. Bacterial waste from healthcare. E. Chlorofluorocarbon.